The United States is once again staring down the possibility of a government shutdown. After a tense meeting at the White House with President Donald Trump and congressional leaders, Vice President J.D. Vance gave a blunt warning to reporters. "I think we're headed to a shutdown." Vance put the blame on Democrats, accusing them of refusing to do the right thing. But Democrats say the real issue isn't politics. It's protecting Americans' access to health care. Here's what's going on. To keep the government funded, Congress needs to pass what's called a continuing resolution, basically a short-term extension of federal funding. Republicans want this extension to run through November 21st with no strings attached. That's what they call a clean bill. Democrats, however, are holding out. They want to make sure healthcare subsidies under the Affordable Care Act, along with Medicaid funding, don't get left behind. The problem is that Republicans only hold a slim majority in the Senate, and because of the filibuster rules, they need at least 60 votes to move any funding bill forward. That means they can't get there without some Democratic support. The standoff has quickly turned into a messaging war. Vance and other Republicans argue that Democrats are holding the government hostage, while Democratic leaders like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries insist that they're simply protecting millions of Americans from losing critical health coverage. So what happens if they don't reach a deal in time? A partial government shutdown. That means many federal agencies would close their doors or scale back services. National parks, regulatory offices, and certain administrative departments would likely shut down. Federal employees deemed non-essential could be furloughed, while others might be forced to work without pay. Essential services like Social Security checks, military pay, and air traffic control would continue. But even then, delays and disruptions are almost guaranteed. Economists warn that if a shutdown drags on, it could shake consumer confidence, unsettle financial markets, and put more strain on an already uncertain economy. The politics behind all this are just as important as the policy. Republicans see passing a clean resolution as proof they're focused on keeping the government running, while Democrats want to use their leverage to secure health care protections. Both sides are calculating how voters will respond. Historically, shutdowns tend to hurt whichever side the public believes caused the deadlock. That's why each party is trying so hard to control the narrative. Inside the Republican Party, there's also division. Some lawmakers believe a short-term extension without broader reforms is just kicking the can down the road. Others fear that forcing a shutdown could backfire badly and hand Democrats a political win. As the deadline gets closer, the options narrow. Either we see a last-minute compromise, maybe an extension that includes limited healthcare funding, or the government will shut down until both sides feel enough political pain to strike a deal. But for everyday Americans, the politics don't matter as much as the impact. Families who rely on government programs, workers who could be sent home without pay, and travelers facing long delays are the ones who will feel the real consequences. For now, one thing is certain. Time is running out, talks remain stuck, and if nothing changes, the United States is heading straight toward a government shutdown.